Amid the icy grip of winter in 1593, Pyongyang stood as a symbol of Japan's dominance in the Korean peninsula. Yet, the tides of war were shifting. The combined forces of Korea and Ming China, driven by a fragile alliance and unyielding determination, prepared to strike back. The ensuing battle would not only decide the fate of a city, but also reshape the narrative of the Imjin War. After seizing Pyongyang in 1592, the Japanese army transformed the city into a heavily fortified stronghold. General Konishi Yukinaga, an experienced tactician, fortified key locations, established supply depots, and prepared for an anticipated counterattack. However, supply lines were stretched thin, and morale among his troops began to waver under the relentless winter and the threat of Ming-Korean forces. Meanwhile, Ming and Korean forces led by General Li Rusong amassed outside the city, their banners fluttering against a stark white landscape. For the Ming, this was an opportunity to prove their dominance. For Korea, it was a chance for redemption. While Ming and Korean armies shared a common goal, their alliance was fraught with tension. King Seonjo's court harbored resentment toward the Ming for their delayed intervention, while Ming generals viewed Korean forces as unreliable and ill-prepared. These underlying frustrations threatened to derail the campaign, but Li Rusong's pragmatism and Korea's desperate need for support held the alliance together, barely. Li insisted on leading the campaign with minimal input from Korean commanders, a move that sparked quiet dissent but ensured a unified strategy. On January 8, 1593, the Allied forces launched their assault. Ming artillery bombarded the city walls, while Korean forces disrupted Japanese defenses with surprise attacks. The harsh winter conditions turned the battlefield into a frozen hellscape, testing the resolve of both sides. Japanese soldiers, though well entrenched, found themselves overwhelmed by the coordinated and relentless assault. After days of grueling combat, cracks appeared in the Japanese defenses. Konishi Yukinaga, realizing the city could not be held, ordered a strategic retreat, abandoning Pyongyang under the cover of darkness. By January 18, 1593, the city was liberated, marking a significant victory for the Ming-Korean alliance. As Pyongyang crumbled, divisions within the Japanese leadership deepened. Konishi Yukinaga's calls for diplomacy and withdrawal were met with fierce opposition from generals like Kato Kiyomasa, who advocated for continued aggression. These disagreements reached Toyotomi Hideyoshi, whose grand vision for conquest seemed increasingly out of touch with the realities on the ground. The loss of Pyongyang forced Japanese commanders to re-evaluate their strategy, but consensus eluded them. In the aftermath of the battle, initial talks of negotiation began to surface. Ming diplomats, wary of further losses, floated the idea of a truce to avoid escalating the war. Meanwhile, Konishi Yukinaga discreetly communicated his willingness to engage in peace talks. Yet these overtures were shadowed by mistrust. Neither side was willing to concede too much, and the specter of renewed conflict loomed large. The Battle of Pyongyang marked a turning point in the Imjin War, showcasing both the potential and fragility of alliances. But could these fragile bonds withstand the pressures of diplomacy and ambition? Stay tuned as the war's next chapter unfolds, where the promise of peace teeters on the brink of betrayal. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep the story alive. Or don't. Thanks for watching.